As an American, I eat apple pie, play baseball under its blue skies. As an American, I travel this land and follow her roads wherever I can. From sea to shining sea, I've seen a lot, and none of it will be forgot. And when my country called, I gave my all as an American. I was born into freedom in a wonderful land of mountains and plains, rivers and lakes. Forever American is what I am. A past as rich as any can be. My father's worked hard to give this to me. I love this place I come from. To live another way I cannot foresee. As an American, I eat apple pie, play baseball under its blue skies. As an American, I travel this land and follow her roads wherever I can. From sea to shining sea, I've seen a lot, and none of it will be forgot. And when my country called, I gave my all as an American. As an American, I've been to the peaks of majestic mountains where the air is sweet. I've watched the eagle as it soars in beautiful skies that just can't be ignored. And by this country I'll always stand, for freedom and liberty for every man. When times are hard and things get rough, America always stands ready and rough. As an American, I eat apple pie, play baseball under its blue skies. As an American, I travel this land and follow her roads wherever I can. From sea to shining sea, I've seen a lot, and none of it will be forgot. And when my country called, I gave my all as an American. And when my country called, I gave my all as an American. Forever American is what I am.
Good evening, good evening, good evening. How are you guys all doing tonight? Hi, PK. Hi, Debbie. Hi, Richard. Hi, Nana. Hi, Debbie Rogers. Hi, Tia. How you guys all doing? Please hit that share button so people can get in here, because we definitely need more people in here than 12 people. I don't know what's going on tonight, but God bless you all for being here. Definitely. Of course, I'm sure you guys heard about the Trump indictment, the special investigation, that went into Trump and Russian probe, having no evidence. What a surprise. Who would have thought? The FBI, of course, finally, John Durham released information that the FBI shouldn't have launched a full investigation into the Trump connection between President Donald Trump and Russia during the 2016 election. Saying the FBI used raw, unanalyzed, uncollaborated intelligence to justify an investigation. Not only that, they had an impeachment trial on this. This is ridiculous. Hi, Bridget. Hi, Rodney. How you guys doing tonight? I mean, the special counsel didn't recommend any new charges or any procedural changes about the FBI handling of politically charged investigations moving forward, despite the reports of heavy criticism of the investigation. This is ridiculous. You know, they went off on Trump. The Democrats decided to use the FBI as a torpedo to launch against Trump and the alleged elections interference, supposedly accepting foreign entities' donations in exchange for political influence and if elected. That's what supposedly Trump was doing. All this came to be found unfounded. It never even occurred. But yet they try to hurt him, you know, and that still, people still today believe this really happened. It's sad. Democrats still believe that Russia collusion happened with Trump, which is just obscene to the highest level. But I can't believe this report actually came out. You know, even CNN reporting on it now. But recognizing there's a big problems and bigger problems with investigations, especially appropriate situations to investigate. I mean, this is ridiculous. Durham's findings concluded that what was already identified. Current FBI leadership already implemented dozens of correctional actions, supposedly, which have now been in place for some time. But those reforms had been in place. And missteps should have been identified, but never were because politically charged investigations. And this is a big problem with our country right now because we are so thrust into this governmental foray where the government controls everything. Hello. Oh, it's crazy. And then 2 staffers today, after, of course, a person looking for Virginia rep, attacked with a baseball bat. Ridiculous. 2 staffers, non-life-threatening injuries at this point. But they were trying to get Jerry. I mean, this is ridiculous. A metal baseball bat at his district office this morning. I mean, it's crazy. I don't care if it's Democrat, Republican. You do not attack somebody with a baseball bat because you don't agree with their statements or what you believe they want. Drastic problems in this U.S. country. I mean, debt ceiling talks are starting. Well, had a late startup. And pressure on Congress is up, but Republicans and Democrats are just pointing fingers as the default approaches. And the U.S. is facing a potential economic shrinkage and shaking default as soon as next month. Logistics hurdles, disagreements on the scopes of any talks, tight legislative calendar, and a late start are complicating the negotiations, and it's not going to get any easier. Wall Street is preparing for the possible U.S. default on the debt. I mean, talks over rising the U.S. government's $31.4 trillion debt ceiling intensify. But Wall Street banks and asset managers began preparing for the fallout of a default. That's correct. Financial industries are preparing for such a crisis before. I mean, they're ready. They're getting ready for what's happening. U.S. dollar is already on a steep decline. Not a surprise, as it falls 5 weeks in a row, U.S. dollar. So debt ceiling stalemate is playing out in Congress and through the White House right now, let's be honest. Crazy. The U.S. dollar fell today more than it's fell so far as investors are consolidating gains made under any awaiting news from Washington on how to address the debt ceiling issue, which will force the U.S. government to default on its own debt if not resolved. Watching, of course, China and everybody taking major advantage of this. I mean, the U.S., I think this whole, not just the debt thing, but the war and everything else, I think it's just a big sideshow. So if people don't focus on what's happening with the U.S. and the collapse of the United States, I mean, China is buying up U.S. military academies, not just farmland anymore. 2 high school military academies, over 300 acres in North Dakota, farmland. China's buying these up and other American assets. U.S. military academies. What happens if they can't make their payment? Well, that means no benefits will go out. And the U.S. dollar will fall throughout the global market, which is going to happen anyways. Russia and China has been buying up all precious metals for the last year, more than a year, but the last year they've been really buying up precious metals. And we've been seeing it hit. It's going to get worse. As we watch the precious metals, gold is projected at $2,500 an ounce now by the end of this year. I mean, and that's if we don't default. If we default, everything else is going to go crazy. Yep. They're buying a whole bunch of assets in the U.S. Burger King. I've heard they made offers for Amazon now, which is just a ridiculous thing. But the risk from China, relatively free market, has enabled a hostile authorization foreign power to set, literally, purchasing vital American industries and resources. I said, I mean, I'm not prepared to sacrifice our freedoms. But according to the government, they don't agree. Single acts of business with Chinese should be considered suspicious, let alone be prohibited. I mean, there's value in stepping back and thinking, what is CCP trying to do? CCP has already set a dominance over our country, one purchase at a time. If you look at a bird's eye view of the situation, I mean, China is taking control. They're implementing stuff that we never thought we would see in our lifetime. China, yeah, we owe China the biggest portion of cash debt, $7 trillion. And we know China's been thrusting spy balloons at us and everything else. I mean, in an adversarial spotlight, let's be honest, China's been operating with other countries and trading in new currency when countries now are no longer willing to trade in U.S. currency. So let's be honest. Countries are seeing what's happening in the U.S. and seeing what's happening in Ukraine. At that. I mean, according to everybody, even Pentagon, running out of money for weapons by midsummer, supposedly. Pentagon will run out of money by midsummer. We're dumping Javelin missiles. More than we can produce in 7 years have already been given to Ukraine. And the end of Ukraine's aid is rapidly approaching. Re-upping won't be easy. We're seeing this push, Ukraine trying to get more and more weapons. We send them a couple tanks here and there. It's nothing. It's literally, we're sending them to get melted. We know that's happening. I mean, the $48 billion Ukrainian aid package that was approved by Congress has about $6 billion left in it. And those will be done. We have nothing left. We have nothing left to give. I mean, it's sad shape we're in, but that's the way we are. Meanwhile, Zelensky's going around and asking for fighter jets. That's what his new thing is. Oh, the tanks aren't going to be enough. We're going to need fighter jets. Long-range missiles so we can attack Russia directly. At this point, we don't have anything left to fight a World War III. But if we look what's happening, the moves with Russia, stationing 18 nuclear bombers near NATO nations' borders right now. Nobody's talking about that. 18 bombers have been moved. It's not a little bit. Chilling move coming from Russia today. 18 nuclear bombers stationed near NATO nations. I mean, Vladimir Putin is obviously getting ready for tactical and a stark caution to the West. Hunting new satellite images exposed the extraordinary display of revealing a variety of nuclear jets readied at Air Force bases in Russia and the Kola Peninsula, simply 130 miles from Finland, Norway. I mean, if people are intimidated by what's been captured on these, but seeing the Tu-160 bombers ready to go at a moment's notice. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. All right, Linda, have a good night. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Of course, this is all happening as Russia today sent 6 Russian warplanes near Alaska. U.S., of course, intercepted those warplanes. Having U.S. fighter jets intercept 6 Russian aircraft in airspace as American troops hold large military drills in the state. NORAD detected and tracked and positively identified and intercepted these Russian Tu-95 bombers, a tanker, and several jets operating near Alaska's air defense and identification zone. Crazy. These exercises are getting more violent. Oh. Immigration's a whole nother problem. Soon we'll be running the other way, though, Alex. Soon we will be running the other way. The U.S., of course, is obviously knowing the concerns over Ukraine. Now, as Poland gets the first U.S.-made Hermes rocket launchers amidst concerns over the war in Ukraine. Poland has recently received its first shipment of U.S. rockets as part of a defense upgrade amidst security concerns, thinking that Ukraine's going to fail, even though the U.S. won't announce that and say it out loud. I mean, this is crazy. Watching our weapons go now to other NATO nations to protect them for when Ukraine fails. I mean, their goal to acquire some 500 units from us of these HIMARS rockets when Ukraine fails. It's crazy. People are not waking up, though. Watching, of course, not only that, the 1st Artillery Brigade in Northeast Poland is also operating now right on the border, getting ready for anything that's going to happen. And NATO's eastern flank is trying to be fortified as quick as they can, knowing what's happening and seeing what's happening around the country, around the world. But U.S. dollars aren't worth what they used to be. I mean, a lot of people are trying to replace Soviet-made MiG-29 jets. But Russia doesn't even use them anymore. So that's a problem. A serious problem. That's just the beginning. As, of course, China's general today calls for military to be prepared for hybrid modern warfare. As China says they face suppression and containment from Western nations that may escalate at any time. The Ukraine conflict has shown that war are waged not just in traditional battlefields, but in unconventional areas. Modern warfare has become a contest of overall nation strength. Chinese military commanders are stating this. I mean, Wang said, the leader, of course, of the commander of the People's Liberation Army, China needs to better integrate its strategic forces and fully prepare for military struggle as the country continues to face suppression and condemnment by the Western nations. And this could escalate at any time. We have the leader of Chinese military now stating they're going to full readiness, basically, ready for military conflicts to extend from conventional to unconventional areas. At the present time, local conflicts and turmoils have been frequent. I mean, just off the coast of Beijing, there was an interaction between one of our Navy vessels and one of Chinese vessels today. Nobody talked about that. But PLA is being put on high alert as U.S., of course, and Japanese and South Korea move closer and push it more into this. We are causing this buildup, whether we want to agree with it or not. And watching, of course, a direct war with any one of these nations, China, Russia, would be devastating for the U.S. I mean, the U.S. has to protect a lot more territory than its own. And we need to understand that. The U.S., of course, supplying weapons and fighters to nations all around the country, all around the world, to protect peace or peacekeeping missions. Sad. Sad seeing the shape of our government and the shape we're in right now, but it's got to be ready. Yeah, local news is now just a joke. I mean, if you look at what would happen back in Obama's day in office, he took the law that stopped you from being propagandized or sent fake information over the media, and he signed saying that you could send propaganda to the United States citizens. It was legal to tell them anything you wanted to tell them. Now, why would the government do that all of a sudden? Who knows? But they did. We are now suffering the consequences from that very action that happened. Sorry about that, you guys. But it's crazy. Absolutely crazy watching what's happening out there. And as we go through this day by day, watch the, of course, events unfold. The Durham report revealing that the collusion of the Russian probe and the Democratic Party, U.S. dollar not being able to handle itself. I mean, we're relying on a failing system at this point. A literally failing system. As businesses are having huge layoffs, even though supposedly there's plenty of jobs out there, we approach a debt ceiling that will devastate the nation. And the U.S., of course, seizing our own people's money. I know a lot of you guys probably don't agree with the government seizing money. I don't care. But if you had money in a foreign nation and a numbered account, and they became part of NATO recently, that money was probably seized. Unfortunately, I know our show tries to help a lot of people out, but for a while, we're going to need to collect money to operate the show from now on, because the show isn't free. It costs me money. Unfortunately, I'm one of those lucky people the U.S. decided to seize foreign accounts from. It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. That's all I can say at this point. As we watch what's happening, though, got cases like Daniel Penny, where you shouldn't even need a legal defense having to fight one. Because, of course, he supposedly killed somebody on purpose when it was obviously an accident. And obviously he was doing it in defense of others' lives. It's a sad time in our country. Sad time in our nation. But be prepared, you guys, because something's coming. And what's coming, nobody wants to deal with. An awakening is going to happen. And I have a feeling it's going to happen sooner than later. As we see this escalations of points of stuff happening around the globe, especially in Ukraine. Seeing Ukraine attack Russia directly, you know that they're, of course, know. It's crazy. But God bless you guys. I will see you guys Wednesday night. Till then, stay safe. And be prepared for anything at this rate. Seriously, be prepared because you don't know what's going to happen next. You don't know where you're going to be next week. You don't know what you're going to be, where you're going to be 2 weeks from now. But be prepared. Be ready for anything. God bless you all, and God bless America.